All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we are diving into something really critical, a vulnerability that's threatening to just grind our most advanced AI to a halt. And this weakness? It's been hiding in plain sight, and trust me, it's probably not what you're thinking.
So let's just jump right in. Imagine this, our most powerful technology, the very engine of our future. It has a fatal weakness, a real Achilles heel that could bring the whole thing crashing down. What do you think it is?
Well, the answer is surprisingly simple. On one hand, you've got the AI brain. We're talking the absolute pinnacle of computational power. And it's fueled by this new nuclear heart, right? These small modular reactors. But on the other hand, the one thing that can stop it all cold, it's just water. Yeah, we completely overlook the most basic, fundamental need of all.
And that brings us to our first big topic here, the coming thirst. We're going to explore exactly how our greatest technological leaps have somehow led us straight into a massive resource crisis.
The scale of this achievement it's truly historic. This combination of AI and compact nuclear power, it promised to solve some of our biggest challenges. I'm talking climate change, disease, you name it. This was supposed to be a brand new era for all of us.
But almost the second this system went live, it just hit a massive wall. And this wasn't some software bug, or a microchip shortage. Nope. It was a fundamental resource bottleneck that pretty much nobody saw coming.
So, okay, let's get right into the problem itself. The source material calls it data's blue bottleneck, and it all comes down to this really surprising thirst, a thirst that comes from processing all this information.
What's so interesting here is how it completely reframes how we think about this. We tend to see data as, virtual, right? Something that just lives up in the cloud. But this flips that on its head. It defines data as something with a very real, very physical, and totally unquenchable thirst.
And the scale of that thirst it's just staggering. Look at this. We are talking millions of liters of fresh water. That's enough to fill an Olympic swimming pool multiple times over, just to train one single large AI model. It's almost unbelievable, isn't it?
This phrase right here, it just perfectly illustrates the core physical problem. See, to generate the insane amount of energy that AI needs, especially from these compact sources like small modular reactors, which are basically mini nuclear plants, you generate a ton of heat. And to manage that heat, you guessed it, you need a ton of cooling water. The two are completely inseparable. And believe me, the financial stakes are just enormous. This quote from the source material really puts it bluntly. All that investment, all the R&D, all the genius that goes into building a billion-dollar reactor, it all becomes completely worthless, scrap metal, without a stable supply of this one single resource.
Okay, so the problem is pretty clear, right? But now let's look at how this crisis actually creates an incredible opportunity and how one company is just perfectly positioned to solve the whole thing.
So the key player in this whole new landscape is a company called Xylem. Now, you might not have heard of them before, but they are specialists in a field that has suddenly become one of the most critical on the entire planet.
Yeah, Xylem. They're described as the masters of digital water. And this isn't just about, pumps and pipes. It's way more than that. It's about the high-tech, data-driven management of water as a critical component of our digital world. Think of them less as a utility company and more as a data-era water management firm.
So what is it that makes Xylem so perfectly suited to tackle this massive global challenge? Let's break down what they call their strategic moat.
And this table just lays it out perfectly. They've got this three-pronged advantage. First up, a technical moat. They have their own special tech that makes these cooling systems way, way more efficient. Second, they've got political tailwinds. Governments all over the world are mandating wastewater recycling, which basically just pushes customers right to Xylem's doorstep. And finally, you got economic stability, because they use a software as a service model. That means stable, reliable, recurring revenue. It's a killer combo.
All right. All of this, it brings us to the final and, honestly, the most crucial point of this entire explainer. And it's all about the fundamental nature of resources.
And here it is, the bottom line. Look, we can argue all day about the best way to generate electricity, right? Solar, wind, nuclear. We have options. But for water, there is no substitute. It's a biological and physical absolute. It's simple. You either have it or you don't.
This metaphor from the source material, it just perfectly sums up the strategic implication of everything we've been talking about. If our most advanced technology has to drink to survive, then the real power isn't with the technology itself. It's with the one holding the cup.
So the takeaway here is that in this new era, Xylem's role is completely transformed. It's not just some industrial company anymore. It becomes an essential utility for the entire digital age. It's as vital as the power grid itself. Think about that.
So we'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. In a world that's going to be powered by artificial intelligence, true control might not come from the smartest algorithm or the most efficient reactor, but from the simple, ancient power of just turning on the tap.